Alrighty. Well, this is a big day, isn't it?
Yeah, we're back once again for the third time.
After
Um,
3 years, too.
Yeah, unless there has been another tournament that I have completely missed out on. This should be the third Momodora Reverie Under the Moonlight tournament that we have. And this is the first match in this tournament. Let's go.
hmm
Our racers today are going to be Dorothy and Ronwin. Dorothy is a runner that has been around for a few years now in the community, a well-known name. And she has some pretty good times on the leaderboards.
They're
And
both
Ron,
pretty close, actually.
oh yeah,
So,
I don't know a lot about Ronwin.
they've been around for, I think, about a year now.
All right,
There's only about a minute difference, I think, between the two in terms of their PBs, but it should be a competitive match today. Good
oh
one
yeah,
to start off the tourney with, that's for sure.
yeah. Especially with with several runners who participate in this tournament. Like there, a lot of them haven't ran the game in like a few months or so. So there has been a lot of de-rusting going on, especially in the
Yes,
last few weeks.
including
So
me.
yeah, there is me as well. So while there might be some people who have really good times on the leaderboards, and so due to de-rusting, nerves, and just pressure from actually participating in the tournament, the leaderboard results are not everything.
That's true, especially RNG.
Yeah, there is some RNG, and also this game has some strats that are punishing if you fail them, as we will get into more when we actually start the races. But yeah, for some strats, you want to do bosses without taking any damage in order to get powerful items. And if you mess that up, you either have to lose a lot of time to redo the boss fight, or do bosses that come later in the run without those items, losing time as well. And yeah, doing bosses hit without taking any damage is not guaranteed. There aren't really any 100% safe strats that are very easy to do. There will always be some skill execution that needs to be done. So yeah, a lot of things can happen in these runs. And we're just setting up for the first race. So the format is a best of 3. So there will be at least 2 epic Momo races today, and we will enjoy it a lot. Oh yeah, one thing I think we have forgotten to introduce ourselves, because it was a while since I did anything like this. But yeah,
Yeah, it
uh,
has.
commentary for this race will be handled by me, DreamFox, and
Googler.
we have also been in
Oh,
the
wait,
Momodora
hold on.
community for a while.
I got Waldo with me too. My cat. Did you hear
Yeah,
her? Or him?
3 commentators. That's
Yeah.
a luxury.
Yeah. Uh, Dream Fox, I know. Long time commentary. I'm pretty sure you did what, almost all commentary segments during
Not
the last
all,
tournament.
but a lot of them. Yeah.
Definitely more than half.
That might be true. There are VODs that we can't go back and look through. Yeah, I definitely tried to do like as many commentary sessions as I could because it's just very fun, and yeah, it's just a fun thing to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like to do it myself too, so I try to get in as much as I can as well. I usually like to ask people first, though.
You're much kinder than I am. I usually just see, oh,
Well-
I'm free here. I'm gonna take this.
I mean, first come, first serve, you know, because if you're the
Yeah,
first
yeah.
person, that like that's just kind of necessary, you know. You know, so I personally just ask people because, you know, in a way it kind of works as like a way of having a voice, giving everybody in the community like a, you know, a spot to talk about the game and stuff, you know.
Oh yeah,
Kind of give everybody a voice.
yeah.
We don't need to do that if you're the first person coming up, you know, because sometimes people just don't jump on. There's been a couple of times where I've had to do it solo, so, you know,
Oh,
those
yeah.
things you gotta kind of preemptively do. You can't do it like last second.
Yeah. There have been some interesting situations in regards to commentary. I remember one time I like hurried home from hanging out with some friends because it was getting late, and like, okay, no one else was available, so then I could hop in. And then one time we couldn't find anyone. I think it was our final match in the last tournament when I found one of my friends to just hop in last second and just do commentary fully unprepared. And they were not aware that it was a finals, otherwise they would not have
Okay.
accepted.
Sorry, I was like having a brain fart trying to remember who that person was.
Yeah.
That was so good.
That was very fun.
Yes.
I heard another cat. We are blessed. And yeah, some of you that are watching are probably familiar with this game and know that cats are very thematically appropriate when speedrunning this game. Just a little bit. And yeah, we're just setting up the race clients or the.
Yeah, we're
What?
just getting everything set up right now. It's been a little bit of a delay, but should be ready shortly.
It's the first race of this tournament. We're new to this. Well, it will. Yeah, that's how it is.
It's all good.
It's all good. You get to listen to us talk talk some more. Always a
Answer
good
some
time.
questions from the chat.
Oh yeah, there is a question about version differences between 1.07 and 1.05b. There are some. Mostly they are the same. There have been some new discoveries for boss strategies in 1.07. That
makes it a little faster for any percent. Because any percent's actually the only one that loses time by default, but it's only by a little bit. Personally, for me, if I had anything to say about this topic, when you're learning the game, when you're starting the game, completely ignore it. The difference is so small, and there's nothing that actually changes in the run to change up the learning process. And that I feel is the biggest part of learning a speedrun when it comes to versions. You want to make sure you're running the version that's accurate to the run you're watching. In this case, either version's fine. It's perfectly seamless. But 1.7 at the moment is faster.
And it looks like the first race has started. Just so that the racers aren't synced. But I will sync up. I believe I will sync up shortly. But yeah, first the race is starting. Dorothy with a head start, definitely. She's 15 seconds ahead. But yeah, the first area of the run is the Grove. It's a very calm and peaceful area with some imps and some radishes that you have to, navigate your way through. because you are playing as Kaho, a priestess from a little village of Lun, and there is a corruption spreading throughout the land. And yeah, we need to get to the queen of the land in order to, get some help in order to figure out all of this corruption business. And yeah, first area, the Grove. Imps are one of the most difficult enemies to handle in a speedrun. That is because they have some randomness to their behavior, which means it's not easy to, avoid their attacks and go fast through the area. But it's not too bad, especially on the difficulty we are playing in this tournament, which is normal, where with a normal difficulty, there is the normal amount of enemies, they deal a normal amount of damage, you have a normal amount of health, so yeah, you can take a few hits here and there and still get through. And a secondary objective here, when navigating through this area, is getting 80 money. You can see the money in the top left corner underneath each player's health bar. And with 80 money, we will buy an item after this area, which will be used for some of the boss fights to speed them up. So yeah, in order to grab the money needed in the run, there are some enemies that we kill, but most of the money comes from 3 chests that we pick out throughout the Grove to get to the required amount of money. There is actually like 2 chests with 20 money each, and then 1 chest with 40. So the exact amount of money can be gained from chests. And we are just getting to the first boss fight. There is a trick for the first boss fight, which we call the quick kill, where you can charge. You have a ranged attack in this game, and you can charge it up in order to, shoot more powerful and more arrows. And if you hit Idea's pearl, like in a specific way, you can instantly kill her. It seems like Dorothy tried to go for it, but missed the timing. It's like very tight timing, just a few frames where you have to release the arrows. But it does a good backup fight, and Ronwin goes for a full fight without any quick kill strats, and gets a clean fight as well.
Hey, it just came back. Sorry about that.
Alright, welcome back. And yeah, so you will see Ronwin here pick up an item. That is the item I mentioned earlier, if you were here, is that if you defeat a boss without taking damage, you will get a special item. And then as Ronwin enters the city here, he will talk to the merchant and buy the crystal seed, which is another item. So now we have 2 items in the run. We have the crystal seed, which we bought, which is an active item, which means that you use it and it has an effect, and then every time you save at a bell, the charges restore, so you can use it again. And then the item we got from the first boss is Idea's Pearl, which adds a poison property to your arrows. And yeah, Dorothy, she got hit during that boss fight.
Mocha that was just a bad Mocha.
Yeah, Mocha can be a little bully.
Ronwin's getting a bad Mocha too.
Oh yeah, for Mocha, you usually want to use your melee attacks to stun Mocha and keep him on the left side in the corner. That's usually what happens, but sometimes, like, Mocha is basically an imp at heart and will jump around and be all kinds of annoying. And then after half Mocha's health, the arena is destroyed and you fall down to fight Lubella, the Witch of Decay. One of the most iconic boss fights of this game. For 2 big reasons, I guess. And Ronwin is very unlucky, because this, like, as speedrunners, this is the worst attack you can get. It's just like several seconds where Lubella is not attackable. You can't really do anything about it except hope that it doesn't happen.
I actually missed what happened on Dorothy's screen. Did they get in our bad Mocha?
I
think they did.
That might be the case.
Well, hopefully that doesn't happen again. Like, what the fudge?
Okay, yeah,
That's like
Dorothy's
a worst thing to get.
Dorothy's taking up the safety save that is before the Mocha and Lubella fight, as Ronwin is making his way through or to subterranean graves, the underwater part of the run. The
Lots of
underwater.
spikes.
Oh yeah, lots of spikes. Spikes in this game are very dangerous. They will instantly kill you without even, saying hello. They are just very rude.
Without warning.
Yeah, without warning.
You just get eviscerated.
Oh yeah. And yeah, one thing else to keep in note is with Edea's Pearl, the poison effect that comes from your arrows can poison yourself. So you have to be mindful of that in the boss fights, especially Lubella, because she does have, like the poison effect spawns between, like right in the middle of her. So you have to stay a little bit up to the side. And yeah, Dorothy with a dive as well. Very unfortunate.
Close
Yeah.
though.
Yeah, that is one of the
Although
good
that's
things
kind of a bad thing, I guess. Right?
with Edea's Pearl is that like it still does a little bit of damage while Edea is away, so it's like kind of mitigates the dive a little bit, but
Usually it won't kill.
yeah,
Unless you're like within one shot range, she'll live through it. Exactly. Both dives. It really is a Momodora race.
this is truly epic Momo gaming. That's just
The Mocha
something.
was just the cherry on top too.
Oh yeah. So yeah, one thing to keep in the mind with the underwater physics is that you are very slow while you're swimming, but you do have a dodge roll in this game, and the dodge roll is faster than normal movement, so you will see them rolling around everywhere, and you still have the same roll move speed while underwater. So it's especially important while swimming to roll as much as possible for
Mhm.
speed purposes.
Yeah. It do you already say it's basically like almost like normal speed? It is normal speed, right? Did
I
you
think
did you say that?
I'm not sure.
Sorry, I was distracted on Ronwin's gameplay. So
I
I was like half listening.
That is fine. So yeah, on the run win screen, you saw a lot of things happen there. That was the item he picked up from the Mocha and Lubella fight, the Bachman patch. It spawns a lot of blocks that fall from this top of the screen and do well. Each one of them does a small bit of damage, but it helps speed up some of the boss fights. And later on, it will be very nice because it
Mhm.
will synergize with another item. So
Yeah, big staple.
Ronwin here jumps over the peck attack, but in that scenario, when Frida only has like moved towards you, you're completely safe by just standing in the corner. The attack won't reach you, so it is for. Oh, Ronwin forgot to pick up the item or
Oh
missed it.
shoot! Did they? Oh no!
Yeah, that might be a very
Yeah,
good equalizer for and
yeah.
give Dorothy a chance to catch up, because the sparse thread that Frida drops is an item that, I mean, it's not super exciting. It basically creates an explosion around you, but the damage from that explosion is substantial, and speed helps with, well, all of
Synergizing.
it helps with almost all of the boss fights coming up. So
Yeah,
without it, especially Fennel will be an interesting boss fight.
yeah. Right.
And this is one of the very, very exciting things about races like this is that, do you try and reset to get the item again, or do you just take the time loss and like invent new strats? It's always fun to see what
Yeah,
people
what
do.
comes out?
Mm.
Because some people do practice backup strats like that too.
Okay.
That's why it's like surprising to see.
Yeah, Ronwin
Because
is.
like the Bachman patch in the case of Fennel could work pretty well. You know, you could
Oh
like
yeah,
Lupiar, you could preemptively activate. You know, and get her to second phase.
Can oh yeah, you can, right.
Probably more. I don't know
Yeah, Ronwin
exactly.
is now on the next boss fight, which is, well, the iconic boss fight is back for a
Uh,
rematch.
and another dive.
Oh no. There is actually like I, I still consider the no major skips category to be very recent, but like there is with so while this game was while someone made a task for this game, there were some new tricks that were discovered, and with those tricks, a new route was developed, which we call no major skips, and that one does bosses in a different order and has a very powerful item for the Lubella 2 fight to minimize the risk of her diving, which is
Mhm.
very fun. But yeah, now Ronwin has entered the best part of the run when you turn into a cat. As a cat, you are smaller, you run faster, you jump higher, and you, most importantly, you're cuter. But as a cat, like, you know, cats don't really have hands in the same way, so they can't climb ladders and they cannot use items, except for the item that Ronwin just picked up, the cat sphere, which allows you to transform between human form and cat form. And yeah, the cat form is an invaluable item to navigate quickly and look cute while doing it.
It's also important for just being the game, because you gotta get that last the warp fragment.
Beating the game is secondary to looking cute. I mean, becoming a cat is the true power up of this game.
and and everybody's talking about Stray. Come on, it was right here the whole time. Dorothy again. Dorothy's honestly been keeping a clean track here. Just running, really cruising.
Yeah. So now, right. So the goal as of the game, as I said at the start, is to meet up with the queen in order to figure out this whole corruption business. So, and in order to to reach the queen, we need to get 4 crest fragments in order to, get to the castle because it's blocked off by a barrier. And we have found one of them so far after beating Frida. And the cat form or the cat sphere is required to get the second crest fragment. And each crest fragment gives you a power. The power from the crest fragment that Frida guarded is charging your arrows faster, like for your bow attack. And the second crest fragment we are going to pick up is one that allows us to warp between uh, specific bells, like the save points. And this route just means that there is less backtracking. And like especially there is one specific bell we will warp to 4 times in the run. And that is a really big time save. And if
Mm.
you take a look at Dorothy's screen now, she will go to the right through two screens transitions and then instantly turn around without doing anything. That is to register the save bell that is on the next screen now in order to be able to warp to it right after getting the warp fragment. And that saves a huge amount of backtracking, as Ronwin is now moving into the area where the warp crest fragment is.
Honestly, pretty clean movement between the two of them. I don't have much to say really.
Yeah, like the
Obviously, as of right now, uh, Ronwin hasn't reached any bosses yet, but
yeah, like
that compromise is going to come sooner or later.
yeah,
So we'll have to see how they
uh,
handle that.
Dorothy just used the sparse thread 2 times to massacre that little poor knight mini boss. Ronwin had a little bit more issues with that fight. Uh, because it's not easy to know what to do on that fight if you haven't practiced it and if you don't have sparse thread.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
There
Okay, I
are
guess there was already a point where the sparse thread
and Lubella
could have
2
came in handy.
was a little bit slower because of the lower
Oh,
damage output.
I'm dumb.
Yeah, now we have uh, probably the most well, a lot of bosses are very important to do without taking damage. This is definitely one of them.
Yes.
Ronwin is going to fight against Heretical Arsonist. This is also one of the trickier fights. Arsonist has a lot of health compared to the other bosses, so you have to be careful and almost treat it like a.
Oof.
Ooh, that is very unfortunate. Okay, Ronwin decides to uh, reset the fight and go again, which I would say is a very smart move because
Mhm.
especially since he has lost the sparse thread already, uh, losing out on this boss item as well would make the final bosses a lot harder.
Yeah. The item here is very good for staggering, right? Because I think arrows don't stagger until you get this item. So,
That
if
is
you're
true.
going to be approaching bosses differently, at the very least, you want to try and keep them as close as possible to the fight as you would do it with the sparse thread. You don't want to complicate things more. So it makes sense to reset.
Yeah, and the area of Dorothy, she is also entering the Arsonist boss fight just a little bit behind now, having caught up with because Ronwin reset Arsonist and had a
It
bit slower fights beforehand.
still got good lead though. It just finished too.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, Dorothy has to reset.
shoot. Am I even out again?
Yeah. This and it's still not over because it will be very interesting to see how Ronwin handles the bosses without sparse thread coming up. The
Mm,
So yeah, the item, it adds a flame effect to almost all of your attacks, your melee attack, your arrows, but also the Bachman patch. Like each Bachman patch does like a quarter, like 0.25 damage each, but the pocket incensory adds like 0.5 damage to each of those hits, which triples the damage output of the Bachman patch, which turns it from some pretty good damage to a boss melter, and is going to be very good. And Ronman also picked up the air dash fragment, which allows you to use your dodge move in the air to, move and avoid attacks. Dorothy just managed to get through the arsonist fight as well
pretty clean.
with the item. That is very nice. Oh yeah, and you see Dorothy playing in a language that is not English. Every language in this game is the same speed. There is no inherent faster text boxes or anything to different languages. It's just purely dependent on what you want to use.
Yeah, it's all about how fast you can mash.
Yeah.
That's the only difference.
And now Ronman is on Pardoner Fennel, which has a strat that relies heavily on the sparse thread.
Like all of them. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
This one will be tricky.
gets hit once. Yeah, this is definitely a very hard fight to learn uh, without taking damage, especially if you don't use boss items. I have played quite a lot of our low percent category where you only pick up items that you strictly need to complete the game. So you have to do this fight without any upgrades and just as a weak, uh, the standard weakness. Okay, and Ronwin has triggered the phase transition and gets the Bachman patches off and manages to squeeze. Oh,
Oh,
poison might. That is.
maybe?
Oh,
Shoot,
lost an
no.
item.
And they're gonna continue, I think.
Yeah, or
I think about it.
okay,
That's scary though. Yeah, they're
yeah,
gonna reset. Okay.
and
That's that's so bad.
And
that would suck. That would suck so much. I feel so bad.
Yeah, Dorothy has now
Taking the
caught
lead.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, not only caught up, also taken the lead. Grabbed the item. I believe she got the item from our Fennel, which is the crystal seed. The item that we bought early on in the run increases your damage by 50% for a short duration. This item, the Tainted Missive, increases your damage by 100%, but it costs a quarter of your maximum health on use. So you have to be a little bit careful when you use it. If you use it during a boss fight, it counts as getting hit. So it's not something it's something you need to keep in mind when using it. And yeah, she is in the Royal Pinacoteca, which is a word that not a lot of runners have encountered outside of this game, I guess. So a lot of people call it different things. I am partial to Royal Pinecone City. Royal Pythagorean Theorem is also a favorite. And Ronwin is still struggling with Fennel. The Sparse Thread is a really powerful item and helps a lot with the boss fights. And if you miss one, then it can have a cascading effect and just make the next boss fight harder, so you miss out on that boss item, etc. But there we go, he got it. Gets the Tainted Missive and can move on. And yeah, the crest frag.
Oh my god!
Dorothy
No.
goes for risky strats and tries to skip the save.
Yeah.
Maybe she thinks she is far, or she is behind because of some, and has to risk it.
Maybe. Yeah. Yeah, they could have been rushing it there.
But yeah, the crest fragment that you get from beating Fennel gives another max level to your ranged attack charge. So before that, you can charge up your arrows and shoot 3 more powerful arrows at once. If you hold the arrows for even longer now, then you can release and shoot, is it 3 arrows or 5 arrows?
3.
3 arrows in quick succession. And that attack was buffed in the latest patch, and now does a massive amount of damage. And that is what has changed with boss fights in version 1.07 versus 1.05b.
Yeah, you'll be seeing a couple of the boss fights being done a little bit quicker here, because I think they're both running the newest version, right? Should be.
I haven't looked. At. So Dorothy here is at Lupia and Magnolia. Dorothy should be able to handle this actually. Dorothy has done low percent runs. This fight is hard because this knight here, Lupiar, is not easily staggerable, and you can't shoot arrows at her because she is heavily armored. So you have to hit her, and trying to get those melee attacks in is hard, especially without getting hit. But yeah, Dorothy shows off that low percent experience and manages to defeat the first phase without getting hit. And then it's Magnolia here. A simpler fight, but without items active, it can be tricky and scary still.
Yeah.
But gets through the fight cleanly. And here Ronwin is caught
not
up.
Far behind. Yeah, honestly, it's.
Oh yeah, Ronwin does not have Sparse Thread here. Usually you want to use 2 Bachman patches at the start and then finish off Lupiar with 1 or 2 Sparse Threads, depending on.
They got clipped. What the fudge, dude? That was such a clean pass through at the bottom. What the fudge, dude? They were so close. They deserved that. What the heck? They were just about to kill Lupiar too. Even without the Sparse Thread, they were still doing well.
Yeah, but that is the nature of Lupiar and Magnolia. If you look at Ronwin's screen, you can see that the strat is to cast one of the Bachman patches before entering the fight and then skip the intro boss cutscene. Which just makes the strat a lot more consistent and faster. Ronwin tried to duke it out and just brawl it out with Lupiar. Did not have quite enough health there. And Dorothy here, she is doing a little side objective that is technically not required to go to the final boss. But if you don't do that step where you like open up the windmill and dip your leaf to turn it green, then you won't get the third and final phase of the final boss fight. And you also won't get a credits sequence after beating that boss. So we don't consider, the game beaten at that point. So we require the credit sequence and grabbing that upgrade. And that upgrade is not only cosmetic, it also increases the damage of all your attacks. Or, well, melee attacks. And, it turns your leaf from red to green. Oh,
Ooh.
Ronwin is in a dangerous situation here.
Wait, just hold on to the dialogue. Oh no! No! They didn't get the item!
No.
Wait, oh my...
That might just...
Oh,
that is something that people might know, is that when you're talking to, or like when you're in a dialogue, status effects still like count down. So if you are poisoned and talk to someone, the timer will count down, but you won't take damage because you are talking to an NPC. So what you could do is just sit in the dialogue box and wait until the poison runs out.
That's a little bit of a more obscure fact, though, so I wouldn't blame them for not knowing that.
Yeah,
that dude, that just sucks.
And here we have Dorothy goes for the yeet strat. Oh, almost failed it. You can damage.
Nice recovery, though.
Yeah, nice save. You can damage boost of that enemy to the left in that room to skip going around the room to the right. Which is a nice little discovery when it was found. And because this game had, like, all the strats in this game was like, a quick kill, or, like, there weren't any fun skip names or anything. So
we don't
when it was
anything.
Yeah, so when it was discovered, someone just went yeet, and that was the name of that trick. And now Dorothy is going to enter the final boss fight here, which, if you have listened to what I've said about the story of the game, it is the Queen. The Queen is the source of the corruption, so we need to seal away that corruption. It's a 3-phase boss fight with the green leaf upgrade, otherwise it's a 2-phase. And this is one of the boss fights that is 100% consistent, because the opening attack of each phase is always the same, and there are strats where you defeat each phase before, or like within the first attack. So it is a very forgiving final boss, I would say, maybe, or like a comforting final boss to have in a run. It's not you grind out a great run, come to the final boss, and then you get screwed out on RNG. It's just you get to the final boss, you execute it well, like Dorothy did, and she takes home the first round of this race. A time of 29:18 it's a pretty solid time. Sub 30 is is sort of like a bar we have in the community for like, sub 30, then you know the run. You're considered experienced as a speedrunner, I guess.
I mean, realistically, we could call anybody a speedrunner if their intention is to run the game, but the role is called speedrunner, and we give it to people at sub 30.
Yeah, that is a nice milestone to aim for when running this game to begin with.
Good start, because it does get tedious. For as simple as it's put, being like a 3-4 button game, it gets tedious quickly. So It can be a bit deceiving to start off with. But that was a pretty intense game one, honestly.
Yeah, this is the exact type of run I want for this tournament.
Mm-hmm.
These types of matches, where it is, yeah, back and forth and close. And yeah, the thing we saw there was the true end to the game, where you upgrade the green leaf to the green leaf, and you get like enough purifying power, I guess, in order to you purify the queen. Which if you paid attention to the final cutscene, then you would see that like Kaho like absorbs all of the corruption into herself, and then the queen is purified, and then the world can move on.
We don't know where Kyle goes though. We just no clue. Just Thanos snapped out of existence. The most we know is that she turns into like 9 different statues throughout the series.
Yeah, you can like this is a series of games. This is the fourth installment. There is Momodora 1, 2, and 3, and then Momodora Reverie Under the Moonlight, which, like, in a grand timeline of things, is the first game timeline-wise. It is before any of the other Momo games. It's a or at least a prequel to Momo 3. I believe it should be before Momo 2 as well.
I think it comes before all of them, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Momo 1 or Momo 2 should be like a little bit after Momo 1 if I recall correctly. And then yeah, since Kaho should be ancient history by
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's considered a legend. So
yeah. And yes, Kaho was a statue in Momo 2. And then had a cameo in Momodora 3 as well, and then an entire game here in Reverie Under the Moonlight.
Pretty sure there's also a statue in Moonlit Farewell as well.
Well, Moonlit Farewell, I don't know. Well,
one because of the trailers, I think, or I think
okay.
The trailer actually has a shot of the room it's in.
Yeah, because Moonlit Farewell is the 5th and final game that is going to be in the Momodora franchise. It has a release date now, right? Or did it not get one? I don't remember.
Wait,
it
what?
is. Did it get a release date? Or did it just get
no, no release date yet, except for 2023.
Oh yeah, it has a trailer. It's in development, and we are very much looking forward to it.
That's right. Ronwin getting through the fight pretty well. Got one shot on them, but oh right. Well, without Spice Thread, it could be a little risky.
That sphere is an interesting strategy for the queen fight, but I support it. Oh, stood a little bit too far to the right. Got hit by the big explosions at the start of the third phase. Oh, Dorothy is giving us a treat here with the cat room. You go to that room to get the key to unlock the Pardoner Fennel boss fight. And on that screen there are 6 cats. The color of each cat and like the position is random, so that is what we like to call cat RNG in the community. And as you can see on the screen right now, that is some very good cat RNG.
Yeah, I can confirm. I just like the ones that walk around.
And Kaho also, as a cat, has an idle animation where she lies down and takes a nap. It's pretty nice. Oh.
And then there's like some characters, something that like gives you something, but I don't think they're very important.
Oh yeah, it's something about the key to a boss fight. I mean, she does have cats, so she has to be like a good person, right? Someone who likes cats and has a lot of cats around and can't be bad.
Wait, that's not a key just on the table?
I don't know.
You actually speak to somebody?
Are you he's just so distracted by all
I
the
mean,
cats?
when I brought it up, that's just something I heard from somebody. Like I couldn't even confirm that there was somebody you talked to. I thought it was just key on the table.
He has to go in, look at the cats, feel around for the key while being distracted by the cat, and then eventually get it and leave. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, and Ronwin has some issues with the queen fight. Ronwin does not have sparse thread, and he doesn't have heavy arrows either. Heavy arrows would have been the item dropped from Lupiar and Magnolia, and it's an item that increases your arrow damage by double, or like 100%. And that damage increase plus the tainted missive damage and the pocket incensory damage and the 1.07 fully charged arrow damage just melts the queen. Like it does an absurd amount of damage when you add up all of those different damage effects.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like you're assembling the frickin' Avengers or like the frickin' Infinity Stones. You're just building up all this power. Oh my god. No.
Oh,
That's all my. They was literally one shot. That was literally one shot. Yeah, when you miss out on those items, it's especially hard here because Queen just has a bunch of HP, so it kind of becomes an endurance test.
yeah. Yeah, it's and like especially in runs, you usually don't practice for these situations. If you miss out on a key boss item, you usually just reset. Oh, I think Ronman is playing on 1.05B. It looked like he took damage when the queen like disappeared from moved off screen, and I think that
That's a
is
1.6 thing, actually.
Okay, was that not in 1.05B as well? I feel like it was.
No, not that I recall. Shouldn't.
Because I remember having to crouch as the queen leaves to avoid that damage. And I think that was what was removed in later patches. But I am not sure.
I completely forgot she can do that move up there. What the heck?
Yeah. With the boss strats that are used in the run, you just don't see.
Yeah, you're not gonna see most of Queen's moves. You just eat her health.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I mean by being a total endurance challenge. Because if you are practicing and you're practicing for a good while under those circumstances, some of the attacks will just be a little bit of a surprise. Especially the third phase. Because the third phase does a lot of. I think there's 2 ground projectile attacks it does. Specifically. That usually kills people when they're in that spot.
Yeah. The first and second phase have a list of attacks that can occur, and Queen chooses randomly from them. The third phase, however, is a set pattern that repeats itself, where it starts with 2 explosions at the side of the screen, and then there is a targeted projectile. Then there spawn some balls from the middle of the screen, coming up from below, and then there is another targeted attack which shoots several small projectiles at you, and then it loops. And yeah, the timing on dodging some of them can be a bit tricky, especially if you are feeling pressured because you are like in a race situation like this. I know that I have been felt pressured by them when I've just been doing low percent runs, because that's when you typically would encounter it. And it seems like Ronwin has learned the fight now, relearned all those old attacks that he didn't know existed until now, and clocked in at a 39.56, which is a respectable time.
Yeah, considering what they didn't have, yeah, not easy. Yeah, good game one.
Yeah, started out really close with some back and forth, with mistakes being made by, or
By both of
bad
them,
things.
really.
Bad things happened to both runners, and
Yeah, it was a pretty even distribution of unfortunate events.
that should be a book title or something.
Yeah, and I think maybe like we put like Lemony Snicket on there or something.
Oh, I think you're
Just
onto
that's something
something.
that came into my head, you know.
I can approve of this. I feel you.
You ever played the game?
Is there a game? What?
Yeah, for the GameCube, PS2, and Xbox.
Oh, I did not know that was a thing. I think I saw like the movie, and then that's
Yeah,
all I've seen of it.
yeah, and apparently the writer. I just recently looked into this. Apparently the writer hated the movie because it just makes a lot of changes to it.
I can understand that, or I can like I had a decent time with the movie. I was pretty young when I saw it, so I probably had uh, the taste of a young child, I would say, maybe.
Yeah, you don't have
And
much compared to.
yeah.
I just played the game. I've never actually watched the movie.
Was it a good game?
I mean, it's a platformer. I mean, if you go into expecting a movie game, it should be fine.
All right. Yeah, we're preparing here for the second race. Should be starting very soon. Both runners might just need to have a second to, take a few breaths and whatnot. Oh, and we are going to see the second run here very soon.
Any second now.
Whew. The dream for all of these races is definitely to get to a third match and get the full our full money's worth out of
Yeah, I
each.
get our money's worth. Yeah, this is pay-per-view. You seriously gonna tell me it's just gonna be a freaking two and
Yeah,
done?
yeah. This category is any percent the legacy route, which is without the discoveries we made during the tasking process, and it's on the normal difficulty of the game. But there is leeway for the runners to agree on playing, like modifying the category or difficulty if both of them agree. But generally it's on the normal difficulty. And so yeah, the normal difficulty, as I said, has the normal amount of everything. On easy, you have a lot more health, and you start with two passive items that make things easier. On hard, there are more enemies, and you have a lot less health. And then there is the insane difficulty, which has the same amount of enemies as hard, and you only have 1 health. That means that any damage you take will kill you, except for the Tainted Missive, because that is still 25% of your max health, so it will do 0.25 damage, and like that won't kill you, but all the enemies will still kill you. Yeah, and we have our runners here, moving through the grove, having a great time. The grove is definitely not a frustrating time for any runner in the game.
Surely not.
The imps are always so cooperative and fun. I don't know, especially like the higher difficulty you play, the more awful the imps are. There is a manageable amount of imps on normal and easy. On hard and insane, there are a lot more of them. Like, the grove is the area that gets the most added enemies when you increase the difficulty. And doing that with 1 health it is a challenge. And a challenge that I really enjoy. And recommend it if you like
If you're
things to
into
be a
that
bit
kind of
playful.
thing.
Yeah, and
Both
here,
of them getting through it pretty well, though.
yeah.
Otherwise.
Ronwin missed an elevator cycle, it looks like.
Yeah, lagging
Which is
out a little bit, but
yeah. Now
should
let's
catch
see
up.
if Dorothy can get the quick kill this time. Gets the quick kill.
Hey,
It's not
that's it.
fully understood how it works. It's just something, arrows hits a weak point, it does a lot of damage, Dia dies, we are happy.
Yeah, big time save. That's
Big,
the
oh
one
yeah,
thing you
yeah.
need to say. Just big time save.
And there's also another item that we haven't really mentioned. There is if you input up, up, down, down, left, right, I think that's it. I just do it by muscle memory, so I don't remember the exact inputs. Might be another left, right at the end. It's like basically the Konami code. Then you will spawn a little fairy, and that will shoot laser beams across your sky. Sky? A screen.
Across the skybox. Makes for a cool light show. Yeah, and I think the blue fairy comes from Momo 3. And that was like that was attached to an actual item.
Oh yeah. I
I
think the
think it was an
Konami.
easy mode item. That it was like the helper charm or something.
Oh yeah, I don't remember where the fairy. I don't remember that. It was a while since I played the older mobile games.
I need to replay them.
Yeah, and the fairy item. As I said, I call it an item, and it basically is an item. You can use it one time, and then you need to save at a bell in order to refresh it.
Oh no! I thought that wasn't gonna hit.
Yeah, that is Mocha being a little annoying piece of imp like being. Ronwin was actually standing in a bit of a dangerous position, because even when like Mocha is defeated and is just like bouncing around waiting for the next phase, you can still take damage from walking into Mocha. So that is one thing you do want to watch out for.
Mm-hmm.
Ronwin
clear Lubella pretty quickly.
Yeah, getting poisoned there at the end doesn't
Just
really
at
matter.
the end, though. Yeah, it was already past the point, so they're good. Dorothy gained the Lubella themselves.
And yeah, there on Dorothy's screen you can see the fairies shooting blue laser beams. It's a pretty neat thing. Favorite boss? My favorite boss. Oh my god, now I'm getting like my mind is completely blank. Fennel is really good. I love Fennel, I love Lupia and Magnolia. Those two boss encounters are tied for my favorite, both of them, I guess. Purely because of low percent runs where you fight them without items and have to learn their fights and get good at them. I think they are really fun fights when done that way, and that's why they are my favorite fights. I guess like 1.07 Queen, or like the Queen fight is also very good. Both from like it's a fun final boss fight, and also as a speedrun fight, it's really fun. And mostly because of what I mentioned during the last run is that it is a execution based fight, and as the final fight, getting having it be entirely up to what you do is a very nice feeling, but also puts pressure on you because it's all on you if you mess this up or not. And we mentioned that the spikes are very rude in the last run, and especially in the path that Ronwin is in right now, because those things on the walls and on the floors and whatnot, those are spikes, and it's a pretty tight squeeze there. It's like when you're trying to go fast, it can be nerve-wracking, but especially with one mechanic, one little trick that we haven't mentioned at all is roll jumping. It is when you do the roll input and the jump input on the same frame, which in basic gives you both of them at the same time. You roll and jump, you get speed and you gain height. And there are a lot of places here underwater where you want to roll jump to go fast, because swimming is slow, rolling is fast. So, but if you fail a roll jump by maybe like inputting the roll 1 frame earlier than the jump, then there is a big chance of rolling into spikes and dying, which is very bad.
Yeah, that's that tedium I'm talking about.
Here we have Ronwin entering the Frida fight for a rematch, and this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is the risk when using the DS Pearl, is that you can poison yourself. And if you look the wrong way when shooting an arrow and shoot it into the wall that you're standing next to, that is a very unfortunate thing.
And that can happen pretty common too. It might seem odd to just sporadically shoot the wall like that, but when you're trying to like adjust your position, especially if you're trying to get in that corner like that, you can sometimes just press right sooner than, or you press shoot sooner than pressing right, and then you just screw yourself. It's happened to me. It still happens to me.
Dorothy is doing a version of the save stat that I haven't really seen, where you switch to the other corner.
Yeah, it swaps sides. I've never actually... Yeah, I don't know how that works. Like, what if that actually would, like... I mean, maybe? I guess? I don't know.
Dorothy did get some bad luck there during that fight with Frida deciding to spawn dogs. That is one of the attacks that Frida has, is spawn 2 of the dog enemies, and they will block your arrows and lower your damage output and just make the fight go slower.
Yeah, just bodyguards.
Yeah, and on the Ronwin screen you can see the save stat. You sit in the corner and see the poke attack doesn't reach, the laser you crouch under it, and then you just sit in the corner and have a lovely time just shooting away at Frida. And
okay.
This is an interesting situation. Okay, yeah, because when Frida teleports, she's actually at the left side of the screen. I don't think Ronwin has encountered this. Wait. There.
No! No!
Okay, that is also one of those things, like, how would you know this? Because
it wouldn't usually happen.
Yeah, Frida's position is to the left there. And if she dies... Yeah, if she dies during that teleport animation, the sparse thread will appear to the left. Or I'm not sure if that is where Frida actually is, but that is where the item will spawn if she dies during a teleport.
Yeah, if she teleports, she just teleports right off screen, which is right past that barrier on the left. So, yeah, the item being there is where she was. You wouldn't know it though. It's a very easy mistake to make, just because, one, the item won't flash, or the item won't be flashing constantly. So chances are you might be heading out of the room, and that thing won't have flashed in time for you to see it, if you're even going to react that quickly.
Yeah, Dorothy getting a bit lucky. Dorothy got the dive, but Lubella was low enough to get killed by the poison after just a few more ticks.
Convenient that we could show that as an example.
Yeah, we have gotten a lot of rare or unusual things happen during these runs. That's great. Like Frida dying off screen, Lubella dying off screen. This is very informative.
Yeah, little obscure occurrences. Just adds to that tedium.
I think I had a thought I wanted to talk about in regard to the Frida fight, but it completely slipped my mind now. Or else I was done with that conversation, and I do not know.
You had a what? What the?
I think I had a thought that I wanted to... Yeah.
I can't think of anything. But... Yeah. Ronwin redoing the fight again. That's just rough. That's just always so rough, regardless of anything. It's just that's always such a big hit to the time.
Yeah. Yeah, and probably because Ronwin saw how it went without the sparse thread last run. He probably wants to make sure he gets it to
double down on that. Yeah, I won't blame him.
Yeah.
But in that case, the game was making it harder for them.
Yeah. That was a clean Frida fight. No Frida shenanigans. The sparse thread is going to be right there in the room. It's picked up. It's in the inventory. He made sure. Gets the crest fragment. And there's the save. Now the sparse thread is safe and in Ronwin's inventory.
And it's still anybody's game too. Honestly.
Oh yeah.
Things
Arsonist. Arsonist especially is one that.
Yes, Arson, especially.
And yeah, now on Dorothy's screen, the knight here will show up, and we will just say good night, and it's gone.
Pun intended.
Yes, that is.
Right.
That's what I think every single time there. If I had a split for that night, I would call it good night.
I don't think I've ever ran the night split.
I avoid it as well. I just don't feel like it's necessary.
Yeah, it's just a quick little thing. You could kind of use it as like a halfway checkpoint for your backtrack movement, but true. There's not really much reason for that either. It's just whatever you see as like worthwhile to take into. If you're being really like analytic, but
yeah, that is true. That is true.
Not much else reason.
More like a bad night if it loses so easily, but I mean, it depends on what perspective you have. From the perspective of whoever hired that knight to guard the castle, it's probably a bad night. But for us, the speedrunners, it's a good night. Probably.
Ronwin not getting the best Lubella. They got the dive when she pretty much like almost as soon as the fight started.
That is unfortunate, and that's the thing that Lubella likes to do.
It's been particularly bad this match, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
Like she can go without doing rolls or dives, but like I'm pretty sure. Yeah, both Lubellas in both games did a dive at least once, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure about the first fight here in this race. I'm not sure how Lubella behaved there, but yeah, Lubella 2 likes to dive in this. likes to dive this day.
Still evil at the end of the day.
Alright, yeah. So in this Arsonist fight, there are some more technicalities to it. So after this fight, you want to go to the right. So you want to end the fight as far right as possible. Dorothy being just a few pixels away and missing the sparse threads.
I was just practicing Arson yesterday and I was doing that too. That just gave me some bad PTSD.
Yeah, so the exit to the arena is to the right. So that's where you want to be at the end of the fight. But then Arsonist is the one who drops the item you want. So you want to make sure that Arsonist is also as far right as possible. But then there's a further technicality, and that is that Calf, which is the knight that helped you in that fight. She wants to talk to you, and she has to run close to you to talk to her. So you have to have her be close to you as well. So there are like 3 things that you need to manipulate during the fight in order to make it as smooth as possible.
Yeah, and it's honestly just kind of tricky too. Like there's no like definitive way to really like consistently keep them clumped up at the edge either.
Yeah, especially Because how much damage you do, like your damage output can change, and if you are as far right as you can, there is a little ceiling above you, so you can't really jump above attacks. So when you end up as far to the right as you can, then you are in a very tough position. So you don't want her to trap you there too early when Arsonist has too much health, because then you will most likely get hit.
Mhm.
And if you don't bait her over there too early, she might just run away far to the left and you
Yeah.
have to run half a marathon to get the item. It's a very tricky fight to optimize.
Yeah. Preferably you just want to get her to the right, because at the very least she'll just push you back.
Mm.
But if you have her to the left, then at any point she could just keep backdashing until the left border of the row, which happens sometimes.
And I can confirm that Dorothy is playing on 1.07. I saw a forced transformation in a cutscene. And that was one of the things that was added in 1.06, is that when you're talking to specific NPCs, then you are forced to transform out of cat form into human form. And in certain places that is what we want. In a lot of other places we don't want that, because cat form movement is better. But that's a good tell to know if it's a 1.5B run or earlier, or a later run than that.
Pretty clean funnel fight from Dorothy too. Pretty sure that was just like just the strat, really. No mishaps or anything.
Yeah. When I see Dorothy skip the first save point here in the Royal Pinecone City, I get a little bit anxious.
Yeah, especially in this room with the bat, you can get screwed there.
Yeah, and also the skeletons here, the ones with the giant sword.
Yeah, they just.
If you get hit by the sword swing, then you almost die.
Yeah, you're in one-shot range, I think.
Are you even on normal? I'm not sure how much damage you do.
I'm not.
They do a lot of damage.
Even their contact damage is huge. It's stupid. The skeletons are just. I don't know what's going on with them. The bones are just destructive.
The bones are destructive. Oh, that is scary.
Just huge amounts of calcium.
Never skipped milk day. Never drank.
Exactly.
They drank all the milk in the kingdom. Let's see if Dorothy will go for the safety save immediately, or...
They got a good reason to.
Oh shoot! Dorothy is skipping the save! This
god! That puts them in a bad spot, or that puts them in a risky spot, I should say, because if they get hit at Lupiar, they have to come to a decision. Do they take the item, or do they go on without the item, or they reset? And that can be like a 45-50 second time loss if you reset.
If you know what you're doing, it is faster to skip resetting and just to do queen with strats that do not use the heavy arrows. But that requires you to know how to do the queen fight in that way, and I have no idea how to do that.
Mm-hmm. It's slightly slower, and you gotta dodge a couple of the attacks. At least on the third phase, from what I remember.
But yeah, gets through the Lupiar Magnolia fight pretty cleanly. Not the cleanest phase 1 Lupiar.
Still quick though.
Yeah, still
definitely
quick.
Flawless.
Oh yeah. One thing with that is that Magnolia spawns like in cycles. It's basically frame rules from Super Mario, but with like Magnolia cycles, and they are a lot further apart than frame rules, like several seconds apart. So as long as you like don't lose like 5 seconds to Lupiar, then you will spawn Magnolia at the same time anyway.
Right.
And so yeah, one thing that Dorothy did right there that we didn't have time to mention is hit a switch that is off screen in order to unlock a shortcut that you usually have to trek around that part of the castle to reach. But it's just a very convenient shortcut that we can reach in with the use of Bakwan Patch. You can also use other items that hit. Like you can hit it with the Crystal Fairy, like the secret fairy item thingy. You can also hit it with. I don't know what what item is called. I think it's the one you get if you kill the secret boss without taking damage. But there's at least one more item you can use to unlock shortcuts off screen.
Right. Yeah, it's the bloodstained tissue, I think.
That might be it.
From Choir.
Yeah.
Is that the one that expands out after it's over?
Yeah, there's like 4 circles and then it like spirals out, I believe.
Right. Ronwin getting through Fennel. I don't know if they reset or not, but that was pretty good Fennel there too.
Yeah.
Dorothy does have a bit of a lead though. Pretty good one. So
Dorothy has the green leaf upgraded, has to climb through the castle. This is, all things considered, enemy-wise, it's a pretty chill area of the game. There are not a lot of enemies here. There are several rooms where there aren't really any, and mostly it's platforming. So comparatively, it's not the most difficult area. But the Royal Pinecone City that Ronwin is moving through now is one of the most technical areas in the game to go through. Lots of verticality, some switching between cat and human form, and this room especially, where you grab the sealed wind, has some really cool movement that you can do to catch a slightly earlier cycle and save a little bit of time. Oh, is Dorothy
running through Clone Angel just like that?
Yeah, Dorothy going for the yeet.
Oh shoot!
One hit, take damage, and then dash.
There we go.
It saves a little bit of time. I don't know how much, but it's a very fun trick to see. But that is a trick that I don't really get to do in any of the categories I run, because either I need to go pick up some item in the room, or I don't have the health to do it, because I usually play on Insane. But so it's just fun to see it in a run. Let's see, Ronwin on Lupia and Magnolia misses the first sparse field, hits the second. Ooh, almost gets hit. Avoids the big slam.
Nice.
Gets through the first phase. Second phase is still coming up as Dorothy is entering the Queen fight.
Nice. Alright.
Ronwin gets the Lupin and Magnolia fight as Dorothy finishes the first phase of Queen. And here you can just see the destructive power of arrows and all of the damage items stacked together.
Yeah, makes for just a big, demolish.
And yeah, here you will see fully charged arrows, removing half of Queen's health in just one single attack with all of the buffs. And GG to Dorothy. Takes home the second race and this first match in the tournament. This does not mean that Ronwin is out. We have a bracket of alternate success.
Yes, there we go.
You can battle through.
Coin by hey-ho.
So yeah, the tournament is not over for anyone yet.
Double elimination.
Oh, I believe that Dorothy got a PB earlier today during D-Rust.
2509.
2509, yeah. So
but they have a easy that's 2504.
Yeah. So this is not a PB for Dorothy. It is a solid time.
It's close, yeah.
Yeah, not far from the PB. So it's a very solid time to have in a race setting like this.
Yeah.
Ronwin does not have to finish the run to continue in the tournament, but it's nice.
You don't have to. But there's no like unless you have the stream open in the background or something, or your whatever else you have that you're monitoring, unless you have those, you won't know
Yeah.
when somebody's completed their race or not. So usually people just play to the end.
Yeah, and you can also forfeit a race if you know that you like lost a round or whatever, and just continue. And like in the end, at the end of the day, like this is for fun, and it is fun to watch people play Momodora. So I am very happy to see this. And like that means I get to commentate for just a little bit longer. So I do not mind that at all.
Oh, we actually we got Dorothy coming in. Hey,
Hello and congratulations for winning
yeah, good
the
job.
first race here in this year's tournament.
Yes.
Mhm.
Uh, went a lot better than last year's for me so far. Or last
That's
year's,
good.
2019.
Yeah, that's last year's definitely.
Yeah, yeah.
everything everything that was like before the pandemic is last year. That
Yes.
it's all in one
Nothing
big
happened.
year.
What are you talking about? It's some weird dream you had.
Yeah, how how are you feeling about this tournament? Are you happy with your runs today? Or
I'm happy with the second one. The first one I was very sloppy.
Yeah, it was chaotic for both of you actually.
yeah,
Yeah,
the
It
first
was
run was
it was back
really
and forth, honestly.
the first one was really entertaining to commentate and watch.
well, that's good at least.
Ah, and yeah, you are this is the first race or match of this tournament, and you get to participate, or you made sure of this by signing up the first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The second
Uh,
I could, I messaged Ronwin. I'm feeling decently good because since I've been de-resting and practicing, I've gotten improving really, really fast. So I'm feeling
Yeah,
pretty good.
really. Yeah,
yeah, that is nice. How does it feel to play a category where you have health?
right.
That's what I will say is all of the time in Insane does help with like, oh, I only have like 3 health. Ah, it's fine. I won't get hit. It's cool.
I feel that. I feel that.
Yeah,
And then
these two always
yeah.
playing insane. Always. I'm the one left out here. Right?
Yeah, I don't even have any runs on the leaderboard on a normal difficulty. I have one run on a
Yeah, you
hard
have one.
difficulty,
I think you have
and
one, but that's it.
yeah, I have easy because of the tournaments. And then
I
one run that should have been on insane but was accidentally on hard. That PB'd
wow.
because that was my only hard run in that category.
Wait, you played hard on accident?
Yeah, it was at ESA. I
Oh
forgot to
no.
Did
unlock
you
the insane difficulty, so I
Yeah,
just played on hard instead.
right. Yeah, I was about to say, did you not have insane unlocked? Now that I think about it, I don't think my install has insane unlocked.
Don't
And
you
I was playing
play
New Game Plus too.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
So,
don't you play New
but
Game Plus Insane?
I made the files run
Oh yeah.
insane.
Ah,
So,
All right. Yeah, that is true. For New Game Plus, we have files where you can just edit a file to have the items you want enabled and whatnot. So you have it set up correctly. So you don't actually need to have insane unlocked. Do you unlock it by beating the game, or just is it on hard or just beating the game?
I think it's on hard.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
on hard.
I haven't played on a fresh install in so long, and even if I did, I would just cheat and do stuff because.
Cheat.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, and there we have Ronwin finishing. Ronwin did finish his second round as well
with the
with a time
30
of
three.
Excellent.
303. That's a nice mirrored number. Very good
Yeah,
looking time.
yeah, it's
Nice.
pretty good. It's especially because they got screwed over by Friday again. So
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
they were.
unfortunate.
Yeah, the game was just being totally evil to them. Honestly, like it was unfortunate.
Mm.
Yeah, I know how it is
Yeah,
having to having to go most of the run without Bach or no, without Sparse there. I think I always had Bachman patch.
oh yeah. Yeah, when or if Ronwin gets here, we can get into that in more detail. Let's see, what fun things happened during your runs, tour runs?
The
Lubella
first.
dives.
Libella dives, that happened for everyone. That's
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for your second run, Lubella did dive and she died to poison.
Yes, on the Lubella 2 was going to dive, and I didn't have a charge ready, but she died to poison, so it was fine. We need to manually invite. Okay.
I'll get them in.
All right,
Okay.
perfect. Oh,
Goodness gracious. It is very hot in my home, and I do not have air conditioning, so I'm very sweaty.
I am happy that the hot summer months are over here where I live. So it's, well, now it's mostly wet and rainy, but that means that it is actually not super hot in my apartment. So I am very happy about that. Uh, oh, yeah. Oh, always feels good to do this.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Hey,
here we have
good
Ronwin.
game.
Hello.
How you
Hello,
doing?
and GG.
Yeah, GG.
Ah, yeah, GG. Yeah, I'm now going threadless again. That was hell.
You
Yeah,
never realize how important sparse thread is until you don't have it.
Yeah.
yeah, you had some. You fought very well, like in the first race without sparse thread, coming up with strategies on the fly and having to learn how to deal with bosses in new ways. That was
Mhm.
very interesting to see and very fun to see.
You didn't deserve that. You didn't deserve to have to go through that, though. The game was
No,
totally just lowballing you, bro.
yeah, you got the sparse thread on the first run, but just missed an input to pick it up, which was very unfortunate. And then on this, in the second race, you encountered something that not a lot of people
Oh, yeah,
encounter,
Oh
which is
no.
that
dying
Freya
off
was
screen
bullshit.
to poison.
Oh
And
no.
I thought
yeah,
it was
as
glitch. I thought the race was going to be reset until I moved. Sit I
yeah,
couldn't move.
oh yeah, yeah, and we've. Did you know that the sparse thread appears like right next to the exit if she dies or during the teleport animation?
I do now. And
Yeah,
that's good.
it's not
Yeah,
something.
you always learn when it's too late. Same thing happened to me.
Yeah, because it is right next to the screen transition. And if you
Yeah.
leave a screen without picking up the boss item, it is just gone forever. So you can't just realize, oh, there was an item there and go back. No, it has despawned and you will have to reload an earlier save and do the boss again.
Yeah, I mean,
Very unfortunate.
Mm.
But
Good gameplay, though.
yeah.
yeah.
Making
And
up for it, playing it to the end,
besides for
that's
Freya,
commendable.
the rest was good, I think. I need to figure out Freya, apparently.
Yeah, for a run without sparse thread, I think that went really, really well.
And heavy arrows. I had to give up on those two.
Oh.
I couldn't.
That's one thing I'm glad about playing low percent for, is I'm very comfortable fighting Lupiar.
Oh yeah, you showed that off really well in the first race. Where
Mhm.
did you miss both sparse threads or
Yeah.
I don't? Yeah, yeah.
I was like,
So
man.
So Lupiar had like 40% health or something, but you managed to keep your cool and do the backup low percent strats, which is really fun to see.
I should have turned into a cat to go all the way low percent.
Oh right, yeah, that's what we do there. You're right, right. I forgot. Yeah.
Sounds fun.
But yeah.
Yeah, and Ronwin, is, as we have said on stream, you are not out of the tournament. You are in the bracket of alternate success, and more matches will come in the future. Ah.
It's fine. You can call it losers bracket. And I know.
I mean, it's
I know
just more.
what it is.
It's more fun to call it bracket of alternate success. It's such a
Yeah, this is
creative
just
title.
tradition.
Yeah, I just like that name more. It's a fun name for it. Ah. So yeah, I think we are getting pretty ready to wrap this up now, I guess.
I think so.
Yeah, anyone has anything they want to say about today's race or about the tournament or about the game?
I look forward to losing to both of you. Is how about I can say that.
All
Yeah.
right.
And good game, Ronwin.
Yeah, good game.
Good games.
We may find each other again.
Yeah.
May our paths cross again in the bracket of alternate success. In Momodora tournaments, there are no goodbyes, just alternate brackets
And good nights.
and good nights.
It's a very good night.
All right. Wait, what?
yeah. All right. Yeah, we have a Discord. There, I think there's a
Right.
command for this. Yeah, we have a Discord. If you're interested in the game, if you want to learn the speedrun, or just talk to people who know way too much about this game and hang out, you can join us. And there's also the
Also got
schedule
cat
and the
pictures.
bracket.
Yeah. Don't forget to check the speed gaming schedule too. I don't know the actual command for that. I think it's schedule.
It's in Momodora as well. That has links to the bracket, the schedule, and the Discord.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. And there are currently 2 more matches scheduled. One in slightly less than 48 hours, and one in 48 times 2 hours, roughly. I
About
think.
that, yeah.
Yeah.
Close
They're
enough.
Close enough. And I will probably be doing commentary for both of them as well and come back for that. So yeah, if you have enjoyed this, I hope to see you again, and have a great night, morning, lunch, whatever time it is for you.
Whatever it is.
Yeah. Have a great day, great night, great life.
Have a good one, everybody.